Hi everyone, welcome to another Dogfight Debrief, a little series where I look at some interesting dogfights that I've had recently. And in this case we're on DCS and we're in a Frogfoot. It's not really a dogfighting plane, but it did lead to one of the most protracted and interesting dogfights I've had in DCS. So it started off pretty straightforward. Me, Hardy and Lithium went out to strike the NATO fuel base on Enigma's Cold War server, and we get there no problem, launch our laser-guided bombs, taking out the last of the oil rigs. Then came around, here's Hardy launching 2 missiles into the remaining tanker, which is the only thing that's left. And then I come around and launch my missiles. And at this point, we're feeling pretty confident. We're having a conversation about heading over to the other rear base that they have. We're using our remaining ordnance on that. And just generally feeling pretty chuffed. We do have a MiG-21 covering us. So we just launch, finish off this final ship here. Now, unfortunately, this does send signals to the entirety of Blue Forces that there's a bunch of 20 MiG-25s in the area. Su-25s in the area. And they jump in on us shortly after. So thankfully we get overlord warnings and Lithium spots them, tells us to dodge. Hardy tries to go head on with an F5, which doesn't really end well. Can just there see the black splash is one of his engines catching on fire, because the F5 has all aspects sidewinders, which makes this a very difficult fight. Now, luckily his black smoking corpse nicely highlights the F5 for me, so I try and get on. I think I had a lock, but I fire and the missile just goes off and does its own thing. And so that is one of the 2 missiles that I have here gone. Hey, the F5 seems to also launch and screw up, so we've just both wasted missiles, and that means the F5 is now down to nothing but his guns. I'm desperately trying to get on him here. This probably would have been a good place to take a shot, and I do seem to get a good track there. Missile does seem to be going for him, but just misses. He doesn't drop flares, I think he just completely outmaneuvered the R60 there. And just as I'm coming round, I see that we also have a Viggen on us. Unfortunately, at the same time, that Viggen goes and slaps our escort out. It's Lithium in the MiG-21, gets shot down. And so we are now in quite a bit of trouble. That we've got 1 damaged Su-25, 1 Su-25 without missiles, against a Viggen and an F5. I go over to guns, and I've really never been very good at guns. The F5 on the bright side there makes a big mistake and snaps his wings. Absolutely don't blame him, but it is going to cost him. Fortunately, the Viggen gets on Hardy's tail and launches a missile, and from that he can't recover. Which is now me in the wonderful situation of being 2-on-1 without any missiles and in a ground attack plane. So right now I'm trying to focus on the Viggen. It's the less manoeuvrable of the 2 aircraft. I'm kind of hoping if I can get it out of the fight quickly, then I might stand a chance against the damaged F5. But as I'm coming around, the F5 here tries to go head on with me, and I just managed to clip it there. It's very hard to see, but I do get a hit. That doesn't finish him, but that is him in a lot of damage. You can just see Hardy's splashing into the water there. Now, here I am getting more and more defensive. As I'm really struggling, I need to keep dodging, and these two guys are working together. I don't know if they're on comms or not, but with the two of them together, I can't really line up on one without making myself an easy target for the other. And so I just get into this protracted turn fight here. Luckily, the Su-25 is pretty damn good at turning, and it can handle itself at low speeds. So these two are struggling to outrate me here. And honestly, I think here they do drop the ball a little bit. They seem to both be desperately trying to be the one to claim the kill. They're kind of shoulder shooting off each other. If one of them broke off here, got some distance, and then re-engaged, I think it would be an easy win for them. But as it is, they both are just desperate to finish me off. Don't blame them for wanting revenge. We did take out their rear depot. But they really aren't winning this turn fight at this point. But I do start to get worried because this is the enemy rear depot, so the enemy airfield of Soki is right nearby, and no doubt these guys can easily call for help, and so I know it's just a matter of time. I can't wait forever. What I am hoping to do here is just continue turning and force the F5 to run out of ammo, or at least run out of fuel, and so that hopefully I can get out of the area. See, the Vigan does actually break off very well there, does make a firing pass, and he does clip me. Not sure actually if it was the F5 or the Vigan that clipped me there. But they are still struggling. So here, I'm really just hoping that F5 runs out of ammo. I've flown the F5, I know it's not got a bottomless pit of ammo, and he has been quite liberal so far. Unfortunately, does get another hit on me, which is not great. The Su-25 can take a beating, but it's not immortal. Here, I do have the advantage at slow speed, especially with him with damaged wingtips. He's got to keep his speed up if he wants to stay flyable. He overshoots, we do a confused S-turn there. And fortunately there, I briefly lose sight of him. Looking around, trying to get eyes on either him or that Vigan, which I've also completely lost sight of. Luckily he's quite easy to spot, trailing black as he is. At this point on comms we're having a conversation that the F5 flight model might well be a bit busted, in that it really flies quite well without its wings. Vigan is now re-engaging. Once again, they seem to be shoulder shooting each other. But even so, they are getting hit after hit. And at this point, I'm trying to make it towards the coast, and I incorrectly think that the coast that I can see is the coast off to the west. I don't actually check my compass correctly, and that's going to come back to bite me later. But thankfully, that little splash there, that is the F5 finally going in, and I get the kill awarded to me thanks to the clip that I managed to hit him on that head-on. So now we just have a protracted race of increased speed here. I'm just trying to keep him away on maintaining visual contact on him, trying to get to what I think is friendly lines. and so I am variously calling in overcomes, but there's really no help to go. I'm well behind enemy lines. And unfortunately, it turns out he had a missile. That whole time, he still had a Sidewinder, and that Sidewinder clipped me in the back there. It does ignite at least one of my engines. Got various warnings on the warning panel. Unfortunately, I don't read Russian, so I don't know exactly what is wrong. Haven't spent enough time in the Su-25. But the plane still mostly flies. The radio does cut out, so I think the fire spread and damaged the radio. Thankfully, I think that was his last round. Incidentally, I know I still have ordnance at this point. I tried to ditch it, but it wasn't working. I think I had something messed up in the keybinds. I'll need to take a look at that. And here, I realised that I'm not going to make it back. I'm on fire, I'm behind enemy lines, but they do have their rear depot of their land depot nearby, so I thought, why not? If I'm going to go down, I've still got ordnance, I may as well go down trying to slam a few missiles into the enemy depot. You can just see it up ahead there. So I've not seen anything else from the Viggen, so I'm pretty sure he is out of missiles at this point. I'm not really familiar with the Viggen, I don't know how many he has. Unfortunately, at this point, I catch a glimpse of an F5 coming back. I think it was the same F5 that I shot down. He's just taken off from Soki and looped back around, which is very bad news for me. Getting warning locks, I start flaring as I see the puff of his missile. I think I dodged it at this point, but clearly I hadn't. And so, forced to bail. Still, I found that a really fun fight. It's weirdly long. I really thought I should have been shot down sooner than I did. I know I wasn't really manoeuvring well towards the end. That's largely because after that first shot from the Viggen, I lost a lot of elevator authority. But still, that was a lot of fun. If you have any tips, anything you think I could have done better, please do let me know. I am very much not a master of the Frogfoot. I enjoy it, but I'm mostly a Blue 4 player. But anyway, until next time, remember to have fun. Cheers.